Okay, good evening or good morning, whatever you are. I'm gonna do this video in response to some of the questions that some people had on my other video, and I just want to start with the fact that I was talking about the translators of the Bible, how they had an agenda to 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 teach or to um, transmit a message or a preaching, a teaching, a doctrine that they wanted to transmit. I mean, for example, if the Catholic Church translates the Bible, we know there's going to have all kinds of Catholic doctrines in it. And I was talking about the King James, for instance. It was heavily influenced by the translators, and it gave people, especially the Christian church, gave them some understandings from the beginning, and they've been carrying on with that forever. And that's why, I can even say without a shadow of a doubt that the Christian religion is a cult. Is a cult, and it is because of this. For example, let's talk about the word forgiveness and justification. All right, in the New Testament, the word justification has been translated as forgiven or forgiveness of sin, like forgiveness of sin. And the problem is with the solution to sin. What is the solution to sin? Is it to be forgiven or to be justified? If we are forgiven, we can we can lose that forgiveness if we do something else wrong. Immediately it will be gone. But if we're justified, we are made righteous by God. So there's no forgiveness for a righteous person, because there's nothing to impute to him or to convict him of, because he is righteous. So let's see that the New Testament did not teach forgiveness of sin. It taught justification. In other words, let's read Romans 5:9. It says, much more than being now justified by his blood, we are justified by his blood. We shall be saved from wrath through him. Through him. Now, what is the difference between justification and forgiveness? Justification is being declared righteous. In other words, like let's say we go before a judge in a trial, and he says, okay, well, you are guilty, but we're going to forgive you. We're gonna condemn you. We're going to forgive you. Okay, you can go home, and but make sure you don't do anything else, because if you come back, we're going to make you pay double. All right. But if a judge declares you righteous, that means you are right before God. You are perfect and holy. You are justified. So if you're going to come and convict me of sin, and you're going to come and say, oh, well, you just committed a sin. You just did this or that or this or that. Yeah, so you are guilty. Well, you are convicting or condemning a just man. That's exactly what they did to Jesus. They convicted him of being guilty when he is perfectly just. And I declare to you that I am perfectly just before God because of Jesus, because of his blood, because of his sacrifice, because of what he did. It's not because anything I do or you will do or any of us will do. It has nothing to do with that. Justification is completely free. It's a grace of God. He gives it to us. Nothing to do with ourselves. Now let's check out Acts 13:38. Acts 13:38. Okay, and I'm gonna make a video with the where you can see the concordance where you're gonna be able to read what the meaning of the words are. It says in Acts 13:38, it says, "Be it known unto you, therefore, men and brethren, that through this man is preached unto you the forgiveness of sin." The forgiveness of sin. And if you look at the word forgiveness, is the word G859, which is translated first and foremost as freedom. You're free from sin. One thing is to be free from sin, and another thing is to be forgiven of sin. Okay? I can be free from sin while I'm sinning because I'm justified, because I am declared righteous. So if I am declared righteous, there's nothing you can impute onto me. Okay? I hope you have that understanding, because that's what the Bible teaches, to me at least. Okay? So freedom, you are free. That's what you're set free from sin. You are not forgiven of your sin. You're free from sin. And the only way you can be free from sin is if you are justified, or if you are declared right before God. And that can only happen through the blood of Jesus, through his sacrifice, and through his grace. Now, Acts 26:18, it says to open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of Satan unto God, that they might receive forgiveness, again, of sin. You see how they translated that? Why? I mean, I was questioning their motive or intention in doing that. And they just didn't understand. They didn't know justification. They didn't know. They couldn't believe that God will freely justify us or declare us righteous. They couldn't understand that without doing anything. I mean, they just like the church today, they believe you have to do something to earn something. You have to work in order to get justification. That's why, in the church, every day you have to make up a list of all the sins you committed today, and get on your knees and start asking God to forgive you. Oh, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, and please forgive me, and done, and then you wipe clean the board because you are forgiven now. You go to bed. And the next day, what happened? You get up again and do it again. Make another list, what you did, And just in case you forgot something, you're going to say, well, forgive me for this and this and this, and also for anything else I don't remember. For everything, forgive me. That is crazy, man. That's how they bone people into slavery. That's how they got you working and is satanic, is evil, but these people didn't know. They didn't know justification. So what are they doing? They are translating the Bible according to their theology, which you can see clearly that is Catholic influenced, is influenced by the Catholic Church. Because again, we're going to see this as we go along. But boy, I mean, I'm discovering this. This is amazing. So I'm going to ask you a question. Would you like to be forgiven for your sins, or would you like to be set free from it? Because if you're free from sin, in fact, I think it's Romans 5. I think it's Romans 5. Let me read it. 5:8. It says that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. So it's while we are, we're sinners. Not if you're righteous and good, and he will die for you. No, he died while we are sinners, and while we are still sinners, he still died for us. You see what I'm saying? He didn't die for a sinner and ask him to become righteous, or he didn't die for a sinner and then when he committed a sin, he fell from grace. He let him fall from grace because, this idea that we are saved and into grace, and now we have to start working. That is not what I believe. That is not what I've been sharing. Okay? I want you to have that clear. I don't believe in works. Okay? Now, one thing is what we do before God and who we are before God, because we are perfect and justified. We are righteous. We cannot even sin. Sin cannot even impute into us. We are free from sin. And yeah, you can be free even while you're smoking a cigarette or a joint or drinking a beer or whatever. You can be free from, In fact, I'm going to smoke a cigarette, and you can see that all right, so we can have you rather be forgiven or set free from sin. Yeah, we can have forgiveness. We cannot have forgiveness and righteousness at the same time. You cannot be justified and be forgiven for something you haven't even done because you're right, because you're declared right before God. I mean, how can a righteous person do anything wrong? Impossible. How can a righteous person sin? He cannot sin. Impossible. Yeah? And I'm mad. I'm angry. Angry at you that are out there. And if you want to block me and if you want to go away, you can go away. Yeah, I have the boldness to preach the truth, as God has given me this understanding. And I don't do it for you, for anybody. I do it because this is my conviction. Again, like I said, forgiveness can be taken away, but justification cannot be taken away. Let me give you an example. You remember the king that forgave the debtor that owed him 10,000 shekels or pounds or dollars or whatever, and he went to the king and he says, you got to pay me, and he says, oh, please forgive me, I'll pay you later, I will pay you. And he forgave him and let him go. He said, okay, go on. And as soon as he came out of the king's house, as soon as he came out, he found somebody who owed him some money, and he grabbed him by the neck and he says, well, you got to pay me now. And he says, oh, please forgive me. He said, no, I'm going to throw you in jail. And he threw him in jail until his debt was paid off. And when the king found out, he went and grabbed him and says, you piece of crap, I forgave you. And you go out and accuse the other and throw him in jail for not paying you. See, that's forgiveness. So he took away his forgiveness and condemned him to death. And he killed him. See? If you want to read it, it's in the Bible. Yeah. Now, we talk about righteous judgments. Yeah, that's what you do when you call what is good good, and not call evil good, which is what the world has. The religious people, they call evil good or good evil, and Jesus taught us how to do that. He says, you shall know them by their fruits. Their fruits are either good or bad. All right? That's righteous judgment. See? Because he's talking about the gospel, the truth that comes out of their mouth. See? It comes from their heart, and it's in the inside where we can find these fruits. And it's not in the outside. It's not in the outside. It's what their testimony is, what they say, what they preach. Now you have people in the world. I mean, now let's translate everything into the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Okay, that's where we live. That's what we are. This is the plane of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. See, now we have good and evil, and we do good to each other, and we love each other, and we help each other, and we don't rape each other. We don't do that. We don't do that. We're not justified into going in and doing evil. I'm talking about the knowledge of good and evil, okay? I'm talking about the plane or the life we live in, the existence that we are having, this experience that we're having daily with people that we're confronting. Yeah? We do good to each other. I mean, do you love your daughter and your son and your wife and your mother? Do you love your mother? You do good to her? Sure we do. Sure we do. We don't do evil. We don't go and rape our sister and beat our mother and do any of that. No, no, no. So if I'm talking about the intention that these people had in their heart for doing this, translating all this like that, and even Judas or Hitler or the Pharaoh. If you read in, I think it's Acts 4, God says, and I will harden his heart so he won't let you go. You say, what? I mean, God hardened his heart. I mean, the poor guy is thinking, he say, I'm going to let them go, and maybe, because he's thinking about the kingdom, and he wants to hold up this kingdom and, not to let it become a revolution or whatever. He wants to hold up the kingdom. And even Hitler, he probably thought he was going to kill a few people, but it was for the good of the majority. He was going to have a kingdom on earth, with the white race, and he's going to have to kill these people. I don't know what his intention was. What's his intention? I mean, he loved his wife. He had a dog. I know, I've seen him everywhere, with a dog, a German Shepherd. He loved his dog. This guy has good feelings for people in well, I don't know. I just, I'm just saying, that if you look at Romans 9:29, let me see, 9:23, it says, had not the potter, okay, listen to this. Had not the potter power over the clay, over of the same lump, to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? I mean, God is the one that made us, and He made us the way we are. He made everybody the way we are. He made the devil the way he is. Because he is the potter and we are the clay. We have no option and no say so. We can't question him. Why did you make me thus? So finally, eventually, the ultimate responsible for sin and for everything that we do is God. Yes. I created evil and I created good. It says in Isaiah 45:7. And Job says, should I not take the good out of God's hand and not the evil? Should I not take the evil? Huh? What I'm talking about is over here, in our lives, in our relationships with each other. That has nothing to do with justification. It has nothing to do with salvation. It has nothing to do with our works before God. They're all perfect. He will declare, long ago, declare righteous before Him. Perfect. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're accusing me of. What? I'm perfect before God, justified, righteous. And I'm mad right now. I'm angry. And you can cut me off. You can go off. Go on. I'm going to stop right here. I'm angry.